everyone. How are you doing today, Anna?
I'm good. Last weekend was crazy. I'm still recovering, honestly.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's nonstop.
I feel like our last month has just been really insane, honestly.
Yeah. You want to talk about our trip to LA?
Yeah, totally. So after Anna's birthday month, we had
there was a whole month in between. After my birthday, 2 months and 2 weeks.
Yeah. Why did we go to LA again?
To host a party.
We're living such a weird life now, aren't we? Oh my gosh.
Small business owners.
Yeah, business moguls over here.
Small business owners.
I think we should invest in some crypto.
Yeah.
Or something now.
Maybe an accountant first, though, too.
I don't know. Have you heard of this thing, Ethereum, though?
Yeah, I went to this dinner the other day, and the guy for Meta Label, and they had put out a book by the guy who started Ethereum, and I was like, I haven't thought about that guy in so long. Like that.
Someone ghost wrote it because he's actually doesn't know how to write.
Yeah, I want to know the percentage of books that are actually written by the people nowadays, because I feel like it's like as many artists are actually making their music and that kind of thing, you know? It's like,
yeah,
you don't need to make your own music. You don't need to write your own books. Like, or also it's like most books are probably written by AI as well.
Yeah, you can have AI make all of culture at this point.
Exactly, which is pretty sick.
And it's probably because the AI is like not advanced enough. It's like more interesting. It's like less coherent. It's sort of like now everyone is David Lynch. It's like
And
have you seen
Foster
that like
Wallace.
Bud Light commercial that was made by AI? It's like there's like a backyard party. It's all like AI people and like their hands are all like weird and like melting, and then there's like everything's on fire and they're like partying with Bud Light.
Oh,
like
no.
Cans and bottles.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's really it's Kafkaesque.
I was showing Ryan the Netflix series that's like AI comedy. Have you seen that?
No.
It's
I feel like I've seen clips of
it's like
AI comedy
it's like
on Twitter.
It's still kind of like Uncanny Valley, where it's like kind of like cringe in such a genuine way, where it's like it's kind of painful to watch, but then because it's so painful, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like The Show You Hate with Tim Robinson. It's like that level of cringe.
Show. I think I realized that I hate that guy because he looks like Mark Zuckerberg.
That's part of it. But it's also like he's just like pushing for a new level of cringe that's like in the same way that some people can't watch Nathan For You because they're like, this is like the type of cringe he's like creating is like too much for some people. Yeah.
I can watch cringe, but like I can watch Nathan For You, but like the ones where they're like, what's the show where the guy has like the whatever earpiece in,
yeah,
and they're like telling him to do stuff like really cringe, embarrassing stuff, and he does it in like public settings, like that, like literally like. Impractical Jokers.
They do
stuff
that.
like that. Well, all the kids on TikTok do stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It's like that literally hurt. Like I can't watch it. Like viscerally, like the secondhand embarrassment is too much.
There's like, it's weird though, because like Impractical Jokers seems like so basic and bad, but there's like this YouTube series where they've been like making like their friends teach courses basically, and if you fail you have to like get your nails done in like the gayest way possible. So basically like they made all of their friends like teach a course on like one, bestiality, one, incest, and like they had to like invite like 20 people and they had to like pay each person like $10, and they didn't get the money unless they stayed the whole time. So they're like sitting through these courses on like bestiality and incest.
Oh
like,
my God.
And like they're like pushing new levels of what they like, what some people might think is cringe or like might be like problematic, but like they're doing what Impractical Jokers did to like a whole other level basically. That's kind of what the algorithm does though, just kind of like continues to push things to extremes.
Yeah.
And
gotta
like,
up the content game
until
we're like dangling by a thread.
Until you're a fascist in Times Square.
Yeah. I asked my followers, you know what Times Square is, and it was about 50-50, which I honestly was kind of hoping that less of them would know.
That's not bad. 50-50.
I also I'm like hoping that if more people had answered the poll, that less people would know. Like, I guess that's my following.
Yeah, I wonder how many people would know it if I asked. It'd probably be even lower, actually.
For people who know what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No one knows what... Like, children are dying. You think, like, people in, like, Australia and, like, India following me know what the fuck Times Square is, who the fuck Mike Crump is?
Well, basically, I brought this up because this happened directly to me. So it's not just seeing gossip. It's actually something that when we have a party next, like, people are going to go... Like, when is our next party, actually?
Drink more water.
But
tomorrow. That's gonna be already that will have already happened when this drops, and then we're doing the party with the Frost Children.
Right. Yeah, and that's on June 30th.
This will be out by then.
The thing that won't be out before this is the Steve Donziger and Chris Smalls event that may have a super surprise guest. And yes, many people from this scene are in Times Square, but we're actually doing this in like Williamsburg. Is that where Baby's All Right is?
Yeah.
So we're bridging the divide between the two major scenes in New York, between Bushwick and Times Square, basically. We're really trying to bring people together.
It's true.
We also have Dagson, who's like the middle man of all of this scene, basically. But also, Anna's personal 9/11 has been the submarine sinking recently.
Yeah, it's my personal 9/11 in the way that I'm gonna like throw a party with it as a theme, because that's what I
next
did with
year.
9/11.
Yeah, she's announcing the party next year when this happens again on the anniversary.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I've been like pretty Aspergerly obsessed with the
why is it so fascinating to you? I'm curious.
I think it's just so cinematic and ironic. Like, the first thing I thought was like, oh, the film adaptations of this are going to be incredible. And there's just like 50 million layers of irony. Like, first of all, you know, going down to see the most like iconic shipwreck in history and then like dying and being part of it is like insane. The fact that, you know, billionaires are shoving themselves into this tin can, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to sink and implode, just for like the bourgeois gift of like seeing a mass grave of other rich people. And then the fact that the like company is called OCEANGATE, because I literally like went on Twitter and saw OCEANGATE trending, and I was like, is this what they're calling it? Like, I was like, that's kind of a general term to be calling this submarine fiasco.
I can't wait for the conspiracy theories.
And then I was like, oh, that's the name of the company.
They planned this all along.
Okay, and apparently, so the guy who like invented the company and like runs it, built the thing, like navigated it down there with them, like died with them. His wife is the descendant, the great granddaughter of a woman who died on the Titanic, and that woman was
Runs
depicted
in the family.
in the movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
So I guess I like want to know if that was like a reason why they wanted to build this, or if it was just like a coincidence.
She just wanted it to be about her. Yeah. Basically, she killed her husband for the clout and the attention.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like the first Titanic mostly was rich people, right? And the people that didn't survive were like people who were like working on the Titanic, like the poor servants and like those types of people. And
a lot of rich people too, though.
First, but those weren't the first people to get into the life rafts.
Yeah.
You know, those are the people that didn't get the option at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was reading that apparently the great grandmother, her husband was like giving up his spots for women and children, which I thought was very chivalrous. That's
interesting. In the movie, at least, they depicted it that basically that was expected, I think.
Not today. The men of today would be like, Leon.
I know. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, we were talking about that in one of our group chats today about like how men today can't fight wars. All they do is fight for clout, basically. And that's why they're all metrosexuals and gay, basically. Wars. It's crazy too, because like the kind of like memification and fascination with all of this stuff makes it seem so unreal as well. Yeah. It's like, I think at some point I might have like felt bad for them and might have like cried like all of the people that like have been on TV talking about it, but just being honest, I literally don't care. And maybe it's because it's like millionaires or billionaires or whatever their wealth is, but I literally just don't care.
It's a general numbing. Like it's just like it's so insane and theatrical that like it feels unreal. But also there's been all these like whataboutism, woke virtue signaling like posts about like a ship of over 100 migrants got lost.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, the reason that's not as interesting is because you could tell me that like a ship of migrants got lost monthly and I would believe you. It's just like so typical of like the state the world is in,
right?
That like migrants are neglected. Like right. Who knew? Watching a bunch of rich people go down to a fucking boat that was full of rich people just to see the wreck and then imploding on the way down is insane. And the whole thing being fucking ran from a computer controller, like I mean not a computer, like video game controller.
Yeah, that's like $30 supposedly.
Yeah, a Logitech like Game Boy controller. Like that is insane.
They were so cheap for that though.
Yeah, the guy who like was running the thing there, I don't know if you've seen like the original video of him like showing the place around, and he basically said that they had like cut like, you know, done budget cut stuff and like not put in the work to make sure it's like safe and has all the precautions. I mean, it's my god, can. It's a little tin can.
Oh my god, yes, you showed me that video of it like imploding and I was like, that's like fucking crazy.
Yeah, the like CGI. Yeah, but apparently I guess that's faster. The only one I feel bad for is the like teen that was on there.
It's also crazy because like we were reading about it, and like when something implodes, basically like your lungs, your blood vessels, and your bones like all implode simultaneously as well. So everyone's saying that's like the best way they could die, as opposed to like the teens counting down to the second, waiting for them to run out of oxygen, because that would probably be really horrible, like a horrible slow death. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I hope that they like dramatize in the film adaptation. I guess it's for the best because like it's most likely that they just imploded, didn't know anything was wrong, and like just died like that, and it was fast. But had they known there was an issue and that they were going to run out of oxygen, if they did sink down and like couldn't get back up, I'm sure that the chaos would have ensued on board. I'm like, would they have killed the guy who like brought them down there, like to conserve oxygen or something?
Yeah,
it's hard to know.
Yeah, how would you write it though if you were to change the story for like?
I mean, they have to stay true to the imploding, but I'd like to see them go a little crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think they would need to like become aware that there's an issue, and then like have a couple hours before the implosion.
It's crazy because like the Titanic went down because of like a small iceberg, right? And this went down because of a small puncture. And it's like these things, like these vessels that we think are like invincible are actually very fragile in reality. Like it's the same thing that could happen on a plane. Like they say that like if you shoot a gun on a plane and it punctures a hole in the wall, that you could just go down like Kobe Bryant did. Not when he was dunking, but like in the helicopter.
Oh, so it's okay. Yeah, who is it? Mitt Romney saying that airplane windows should open.
Wait, did he really say that? He wants to put his head out. He wants to put his head outside.
It was for like his wife or something.
Oh, she wanted to open the window on the plane.
I'm gonna Google it. Mitt Romney wants to know why airplane windows don't open. When you have a fire in an aircraft, there's no place to go. Exactly. And you can't find any oxygen from outside the aircraft to get it open. He's talking about if there's a fire. He's saying it's a problem and it's dangerous because if there's a fire on a plane, you can't open a window. But if you open the window, then the whole thing implodes.
And then everyone just dies of like oxygen deprivation,
And then it's like,
then the whole airplane starts to fill
Donnie
with...
Darko plane moment.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I didn't hear about that.
Maybe that's what happened to the Malaysian aircraft.
Oh, the one that like disappeared.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened to Amelia Earhart.
Oh.
Do you know about Amelia Earhart?
I honestly don't. Did she die on a plane?
She was like the first woman,
I know she was the
to
first
fly like across the Atlantic Ocean, I believe.
I knew that, but did she die on a plane or something?
She died because of wokeness, actually.
So did all those submarine tickets. Did you?
If she wasn't a woman, she wouldn't have died, basically. But that's wokeness for you.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see like the stepson of one of the guys?
Oh yeah, catch me up on that. What's like the deal with him besides he's like also into Blink-182, like me and Chandler from The Help.
Yeah, so he like he like went to a Blink-182 show. He tweeted about it like,
oh yeah,
like,
Chandler from The Help was there too. I wonder if he met him.
I wonder. I think it was a different show, but yeah, he like went to this concert and was like, my family would want me to be happy and stuff.
I'm gonna text Chandler right now to see if he was at that show. Now.
And then he'd been like asking for prayers on Twitter, and then like asked an OnlyFans model to sit on him like right after on Twitter. And like Cardi B like made some video being like, you should be at home crying and stuff, and he was like, she's classless and all this stuff.
And people is like, well, what is he supposed to do? Be sad at the house? Is he supposed to go look for himself? Yes. You're supposed to be at the house sad. You're supposed to be crying for me. You're supposed to be right next to the phone waiting to hear any updates about me. You're supposed to be constantly your mom. Like, isn't it sad that you a whole billionaire and nobody gives a about you? Like,
he seems like pretty autistic, I'll say. He apparently has a warrant out for his arrest or something. He said, I don't have a passport, and he said that he only has like $100 to his name. I'm like, okay, maybe you personally, but you have a stepdad who's a billionaire, so shut the fuck up.
Oh, wow.
But he apparently like has harassed a lot of like female artists and stuff, and like has a warrant out for stalking. I think he's autistic based on like the lack of social awareness I see and stuff. But I think that like obviously that's not why he's like a menace to society. That has way more to do with like the billionaire dad and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like a really lethal combination.
It's crazy because he sounds like he'd be one of our patrons.
Yeah, should get him to subscribe to. I should like message him and be like, hey,
yeah,
like this is like all so fucked up what they're saying about you, and like become his friend and stuff, and then like exploit him for the $100 he has to.
Yeah, we should put this out as a paid episode because he's too broke to listen
subscribe.
To it.
Yeah,
but then we should try to get him on. Yeah, we should totally try to get him on. He'd be great.
But like he's like really milking it. Like he's like posting videos talking, like Instagram stories talking to the camera and stuff. And I
like what Adam Faze said. This is like what happens when normal people get clout. They just go crazy because they can't take it. Yeah, it's so true though.
Yeah. I like had just learned yesterday. I like didn't know about the balloon kid. Do you know about like the balloon kid?
Is this related?
No. This is like there was a family who had some big like what was it, a hot air balloon or something? A weather balloon. And they like said that their son was up with it and they like had to track the balloon down or whatever, but apparently they lied for attention and like had the son like like hiding in some back room of the house or something, and like lied and said he went up with the balloon so that they could be famous. Oh my god, that's kind of like there's this band called Yacht, and I think they made like a fake sex tape for attention, and then everyone found out, but then nobody really cared even. Like, okay.
Also, like, it was crazy that happened because like while that was happening, a lot of my friends were like by this like huge explosion that happened in Chinatown, like David and Madeline. Did you guys see the photos on Madeline's like Instagram? I have not heard anything about this. She like went outside, I guess, and there was like this like huge building in Chinatown that exploded, and I'm like what the fuck, you know? And the crazy thing is it happened supposedly because of some like cheap e-bike repair shop battery. Oh, I did see this. The e-bike shop. I saw David's story of the fire. Yeah. Someone died? Yeah, and it's crazy because like on airplanes you can't carry these lithium batteries anymore.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like being over the top. And yeah, 4 die.
4 people. Holy shit.
But there it was somebody else made a meme saying that God had made it equal. It was 2 men and 2 women.
Oh my god.
And there's 2 non-binary people that were injured as well.
Oh
so.
my god. Holy shit.
So it seems pretty fair to me.
So was it okay? An e-bike, I just reported an electronic city bike for not working the other day. So
oh yeah,
I'm doing my part.
Yeah, because all of the kids in New York now are like scraping off the serial codes and like trying to hack those bikes. Like there's all these kids now that like hack those bikes, I guess.
Yeah.
So but like a lot of times they like fail, so they just destroy the bike and they just throw it on the curb. It just stops working forever.
Holy shit.
It's like when we were like hacking like those bird scooters in LA. That was pretty fun. You could buy like a $50 kit from China and just like hack it and then just have a free scooter.
That rocks. I want to hack a city bike.
Yeah.
My helmet's supposed to arrive today. I ordered a helmet because I've been city biking more.
Oh, that's sick.
If you have EBT in New York,
yeah,
you get like a huge discount on city bike.
Oh, wow.
So city bike is like super expensive. Like I rode to my friend's place yesterday.
Did your therapist diagnose you as EBT? What does that mean?
What?
Your therapist diagnosed you as EBT?
As
you have
EBT,
a new illness?
Yeah. Yeah, my therapist diagnosed me.
So how many abbreviations do you now have under your belt? You're like those people that go to school
the real
forever.
Alphabet, whatever, party or whatever. LGBT, LGBT.
Did you guys
BPD?
Did you guys see the
LGB
autistic gay flag pride that somebody was? There's like the autistic gay pride flag now.
I went to a bar in Paris that had a furry pride flag.
Oh yeah, remember the otherkin pride flag too? That was the sickest one because it had fascist vibes. Also, tell us about your music, Anna. This is kind of like a new part of you, and you're also playing your first show.
I am at the Steve Donziger Chris Smalls event. It'll be my first live music performance.
Are you nervous?
I was just at Young Chomsky's place yesterday. That's where I city biked to
nice.
Start practicing and putting together the live set. It's really exciting. Like I totally would have done music when I was younger if I had the opportunity, but I was just like didn't think it was possible. And I like excel way more at like drawing and art making, like physical material art.
Why didn't you think it was possible?
Because it's expensive. I didn't know how. I was like, this was handed to me in my lap. Like, hey, you should make music. I'll set you up with these producers. And I'm like, I write, so it comes pretty naturally, I think, to me, and I'm excited about it. So, yeah.
Do you feel like a musician yet?
I don't know what that even means.
Yeah, I mean, it's an identity.
I try to not let my ego, like, I understand how much ego is involved in creating art because I paint and I draw and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's probably a similar thing where you just have to put yourself in that headspace to, like, create. And it's like, no one should see me like when I'm like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you feel like a musician, like, there's, like, a certain point, like if you watch like the Frost Children perform and the way that they like dance to their music, like they completely like embody the music.
Yeah.
In like such a deep personal way that is not like, for me, it's not as much about like, oh, like, do you feel like you're cool like musicians, or like, do you have like the title? It's more like, do you embody that in the way that you perform? And like, yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. And I've never performed live before. So that's like, this will be the test. I think I'm nervous because like, I don't like public speaking. It's my least favorite thing, but I think that this is going to be different because of that. It's like, I understand that I need to like embody something when you go up there. It's sort of like blacking out and
yeah, totally.
And
yeah.
It's different.
But it's like Nietzsche says about like masks. He says they're not fake. It's actually like how you find yourself. And I think that playing music actually makes you more comfortable with public speaking as well, you know? So I think I think it'll be exciting for you.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good show. The baby show is going to be fun.
Yeah.
That was like the last Steve Donziger Chris Small's thing at Babies was like the first like great party that we had here, like in this past like year or whatever. So
also,
I'm excited for that.
Also, that we went and saw him with like Blake the Man, right? And who else performed there?
Yeah.
When we first met him,
I forget.
Was it Fast Children? I don't remember either. I just remember Blake the Man.
I feel like I didn't even watch a lot of the live music. I feel like I was out back hanging with Chris Smalls the whole time.
Yeah. I think it's the same. I think I only saw Blake the Man. I was like, man, he's so good. Yeah. But it's just crazy though, because basically that's now you know. Like,
I am Blake the Man.
I'm
Blake the Man 2000.
No, now you're like the Dime Square like musician on the stage with.
I know. I'm really excited. I'm so excited that my first show is at Babies. I'm like, that's huge. I've seen some of my favorite bands at Babies. So
yeah, Babies is kind of like a community hub for like all of our friends too. Like when they perform there, and we go there, like it feels like we have a community there, kind of like at other places in like Chinatown, you know. So
yeah, you've recently, Matthew, have been like quoted in the New York Times a couple times now.
Oh yeah, I was quoted in the New York Times for being a formerly trans person, which is a lot of clout, obviously.
One of the only detransitioners who's not like wreaking havoc on the trans community.
Yeah, being a detransitioner is like such a fun way of like going horseshoe like politics on everyone, where you're like, oh, I'm a trans person and I'm left and I believe in human rights, to being like, I'm against trans human rights. And I think that everyone that does this surgery is mentally ill, and you know, it goes very far extreme in that kind of direction. Yeah, so I was quoted in the New York Times. I didn't post about it yet. I was quoted in the Mike Crump's article recently for not being a fascist.
Nice.
I was really surprised.
The Crump stamp of approval. Not a fascist.
Yeah. Also, I am doing research this summer on sex. So when we do our like episode with Steph Daggs, I'm going to be like quoted in like an actual
academic... Gotta bring the dare on for that one.
Sex.
Why The Weeknd?
You haven't been watching The Idol?
Oh, no, I haven't seen The Idol yet.
He's a sex pest in that.
Oh, is he actually, though?
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to...
Wait, is that like a true depiction of him?
It's like an accidentally true depiction.
Yeah, it's like, it's not. It's not supposed to be, but that's definitely how he fucks. Like, he's like so corny and like trying to be all dom. And is like,
okay.
Like someone pulled up an old tweet of his that was like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to fuck you. That's what the tweet was.
It's so hot. Honestly,
and he has a fucking rat tail.
Does
and his
he really?
name is Tedros.
Oh, God.
It's pretty...
Oh, my God. That kind of looks like your neighbor. Your neighbor looked like he had a rat tail.
Oh, no. One of the ones from upstairs who don't take their trash out.
Yeah, so I'm doing like actually academic research, trying to get into a PhD, I guess, and also I'm doing this talk, like I'm interviewing Anna Delvey live coming up soon, which is exciting, which is going to be really funny because it's like, I think it's like for some like girl boss thing.
Oh, shit.
And then, yeah, we're doing that event and I'm interviewing Steve Donziger at that event with Chris. And then I believe Anna Delvey is coming on our pod next on the 13th. This will be out before that.
Ooh,
yeah.
Let's go.
We're excited about that.
We get to her apartment. She just like takes all of our equipment.
Finally, I guess my mom knows.
When we went to her birthday party, we had
Yeah.
to like fill out NDAs, but on the NDAs we had to give our social security numbers.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of insane to give your social security number to the most famous scammer in the whole country.
Yeah, totally.
But everything was fine, and she's a sweet girl. So
yeah, it's cool because I had access to everyone's social security numbers.
Yeah. Now we were actually the ones with the socials. Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to LA and it was kind of crazy because like, was that your first time going to Little Secret?
Yeah.
It's like
Everyone was there.
it's such a hub or like a vortex of like people you want to hang out with. So like every time I go there, I'm just like, I have to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
Because it's also
was
like
crazy.
incredibly
I literally
overwhelming.
just gotten off a plane. I was like, trying to hold conversations with people while being like completely like shot, just like brain dead.
I don't know how people manage to do any drugs there besides like things that are stimulants, I guess, because it's just so crazy. Yeah.
It's a really cool space. I want to get back there. They have like a new spot.
Yeah,
too.
they're moving to an even bigger space now, which is
Hell
insane.
yeah.
So they're finally on their season 2, just like we are. So, and I think they have like funding now, maybe too.
Sweet.
Or like the space is a form of funding. So they're going to be doing like much bigger shows. So when we go there, we can do those with them. It's cool to be like building things with other people like Devin. I feel like part of our podcast has been like kind of like building a community of people that we're like doing stuff with, like Kareem and Adam Faze, or like, wait, who else has been on our podcast? Steve Donziger is like wanting us to do events with him. He's been on our podcast. Chapo, yeah. I mean, I think that's the coolest part of having a podcast is like, one, the parasocial people that enter your life. Anna loves those people.
My favorites. The ones that come to New York to look for me.
The ones that only become famous if their dad goes down in a submarine, basically.
Yeah.
But then also it does feel like we're kind of like entering our own kind of like cultural stride now after doing this for like a year or more now. And hosting parties is like a smaller part of that. I feel like even now, I feel like that's not even like our thing. I feel like we do that, but like we're now becoming kind of like part of like the voices of New York City. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I would never hold myself to.
You're like, no, I am
standard.
only the voices of the internet.
Yeah. I would never say something like that personally. So I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I would never hold myself to such importance culturally. It's
mean,
all for fun.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's obviously like one of those things.
We have a lot of fun downtown though with our friends. That's for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well, thoughts and prayers to the stepson of the billionaire who imploded in the deep sea. I hope you get that pussy you're on the hunt for. At the Blink Show. I hope you found, yeah. Where are you?
We also hope that those people, if any of your friends were harmed in the downtown explosion, that you're safe. Yeah. Because I know that really
massacre.
Because I know that really rocked a lot of our friends.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. I had
like
no
all
idea
of our friends were like crying.
I saw videos of the fire. I had no idea that people died. That's horrific.
Yeah, I know.
And now I'm don't bring lithium batteries onto planes, you guys. Don't do it.
Oh my god, yeah. Also, don't buy cheap e-bikes because that might be you next.
Remember when the hoverboards were all exploding and stuff?
No, but I remember when like all of the batteries that Tesla made when they first like came out were exploding in people's houses.
Is that why Teslas explode? I don't really. This is like
in the houses. There was like houses exploding because of it. Which these batteries are like 10 times the size of. These batteries are like 10 times the size of those little e-bike batteries. So.
Oh my god.
They could like cause like a whole house to explode supposedly. So.
On that note, stay safe out there.
On that note. Who are you rooting for in the Musk versus Zuckerberg fight?
My landlord's outside, guys. I think we should pod. I think we should tell them to come earlier and podcast while they walk around us, like walk up and down the stairs and stuff. Yeah, but I think we should do it while they're touring the house because they're bringing a tour here after the pod. And I'm like, they should just come earlier and then we can just like be like, so do you think you want to buy this property? And then like put the mic in their face. So what do you think about the crown molding?
What do you think about the stairs and how they're not even?
Yeah. Do you see how these two corners don't align? Does that bother you? Because it bothers me. Are we done?
Yeah.
I've been talking to the mic.